Hey everyone, welcome. Today, we're going to talk about something that'll save you a ton of time and, let's be honest, a lot of sanity. We're going to take those super tedious, repetitive software testing tasks and turn them into an awesome automated process. Think of it like you're building your very own little robot helper, and we'll go through it step by step.
You know that feeling, right? When you're clicking the same button for what feels like the 1,000th time and your brain just starts to go numb. You're wondering, there has got to be a better way to do this. Well, when it comes to testing software, I'm here to tell you there absolutely is.
So that whole mind-numbing process actually has a name. In the software world, we call it manual testing. And look, it's a crucial first step for sure, but it's also, well, it's where the burnout really starts to kick in. It's slow, it's so easy to miss one tiny detail after the 100th click, and frankly, it is not the most exciting part of the job.
Okay, check this out. This really just lays it all out, doesn't it? On one side, you have manual testing. Slow, repetitive, just a total slog. But on the other side, you have our hero, automation testing. And it's not just about being faster. It's about trading that human drudgery for a smart robot helper who does all the boring stuff for you.
And this isn't going to be some high-level theoretical chat. Nope. Think of this as your personal playbook. We're actually going on a journey to show you exactly how you can build that robot helper for yourself, for real. All right, so where do we even begin? That brings us to phase 1, the automation blueprint. I mean, you wouldn't just start building a house without a plan, would you? It's the exact same thing here. You can't just wing it and hope to create a reliable bot. This planning stage is the foundation for literally everything else we're about to do.
And your blueprint is actually pretty simple. It really just comes down to 3 key steps. First, you've got to know the app you're testing inside and out. We'll call this Know Your Toy. Second, you have to pick the right gadget, the right tool for that specific job. And third, and this one is so important, you have to resist that temptation to automate the entire world all at once. Just start small.
So let's dig into that first step, know your toy. Seriously, imagine you have a toy robot. Before you can even think about fixing it, you have to know what it's supposed to do. Does it walk? Does it talk? It's the same with an application. You have to know precisely how it's intended to work before your bot can ever tell you if it's broken.
So, our blueprint is ready. Now we can move on to phase 2. It's time to start assembling the pieces. We're going to gather our materials and start putting together the core building blocks of our brand new bot.
Your toolkit here really boils down to 3 core skills. First, you got to learn a language so you can give instructions, something common like Python or JavaScript. Next, you need to start designing your tests as small reusable parts, kind of like Legos. And finally, you'll need a framework to keep it all organized, which you can think of as a timetable.
Now, I know the word programming can sound a little intimidating, but don't let it be. At its heart, it's just about giving clear, sequential commands. You're just telling the computer exactly what to do, one simple step at a time, just like you would with a dog. Sit, roll over, that's all it is.
And this brings us back to the power of those reusable parts, the Legos. This idea is a total game changer. Instead of writing one giant complex test, you build small independent scripts. So you have a Lego block for logging in, and another Lego block for adding an item to a cart. Then you can just snap those blocks together in different ways to build dozens of bigger tests. It saves an incredible amount of time. So what holds all these Lego blocks together? A testing framework. This is where you might hear names like Selenium, Cypress, or Playwright. They're basically the instruction manual for your project. They're the set of rules and tools that give everything structure and make sure your tests run consistently every single time. A really simple way to think about it is like a school timetable, right? The timetable tells you which class is next, where it is, and when it starts. A testing framework does the exact same thing for your tests. It organizes them, it runs them in the right order, and it helps report the results in a clear, consistent way. It brings order to the chaos. We've planned it. We've built the parts. Now for the magic. Let's move to phase 3 and set up the assembly line that allows our bot to run completely on its own. This is where it gets really cool.
This is where your bot becomes truly powerful. We integrate it into what's called a CI/CD pipeline. Don't worry about the long name. Just think of it as an automatic homework checker. Every time a developer adds new code, your bot automatically wakes up, runs all the tests, and instantly reports back if anything broke. It's amazing.
Okay, quick question. You ever start a game and just start mashing the start button before the loading screen is even finished? We've all done it. You're impatient, you hit the button, and nothing happens. The game just wasn't ready. Well, your automation bot can be just as impatient if you don't teach it otherwise.
So this is an absolutely crucial point. Websites and apps don't load instantly. You have to program your bot to wait for things to appear on the screen before it tries to interact with them. Seriously, teaching your bot patience is one of the most important things you can learn to prevent your test from failing when there's actually nothing wrong.
Okay, we're almost there. A great bot isn't something you build once and then just forget about. Software changes all the time, right? So your bot needs regular maintenance and tune-ups to stay sharp and effective. And that brings us to phase 4.
Your maintenance checklist is pretty straightforward. First, you gotta clean your room. That just means regularly reviewing and cleaning up old test scripts. Then, you keep a diary. Use your reports to track what's working, what's failing, and most importantly, why. And finally, you have to practice your sport. Keep learning new tools and techniques to keep your skills sharp.
All right, that's enough theory. Let's see what this actually looks like in the real world. We're going to put all these phases together and run our first test on a simple video game login screen. Okay, here we go. First, you open the game. That's step 1, right? Understanding your application. Then you decide to focus only on the login. That's our principle of starting small. Then you fire up your robot helper, your automation tool, to do the heavy lifting.
And what does the robot do?
First, it patiently waits for that screen to fully load. That's handling waits. Then it enters the login info, and it verifies that it actually got inside the game. And finally, if it fails, it writes the bug down in its notebook, the report, so a developer can fix it. See how it all comes together? And just like that, you've done it. You've built an automated test. This little bot can now run that login check 1,000 times a day without getting tired or making a mistake. And that frees you up to focus on more interesting, more complex problems.
So you've laid the foundation. You've created your very first robot worker. But this journey is really just beginning. The only question left is, what repetitive, boring task will you teach your growing army of bots to conquer next?